Hi everyone, I am Wafa Langao and welcome you all in Grammar in Detail. If you are new and not subscribed the channel, so please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get some more videos about Grammar in Detail. Today we are going to discuss the ditransitive verb get from active voice into passive voice. Before discussing causative verb get, the ditransitive verb get, we will discuss a little bit the definition of ditransitive verb. Di means to, and transitive can be changed into passive voice and verb which shows an action. So those verbs which need two objects and can be changed in passive voice into four ways are called the ditransitive verbs. So those verbs which need two objects and can be changed into passive voice into four ways are called the ditransitive verbs. They need two objects, one direct object and one indirect object. What is direct object? Direct object means all non-living things and indirect object means all livings. So they need one direct object and one indirect object. Direct object means all non-livings and indirect object means all livings. Why do they need one direct and one indirect object? If I say he gets me, now a question arises, what does he get me? And if I say he gets a mobile, now again a question arises that whom does he get a mobile? If I say he gets me a mobile, over there to me he gets, and for what does he get to me? A mobile. If you want to shuffle the places of the direct and indirect object, if you want to bring the indirect object at the end and direct at the beginning, so your indirect object me will be followed by a preposition. He gets a mobile to me. So this is known as the two ways for the direct into active voice into two ways. And now we will be discussing how we are going to change it from active voice into passive voice in how many ways? Four ways. So let's discuss. Today we have got the modal auxiliary verb, used to. Keep in your mind, used to has got a lot of confusion for the students whether it is a modal auxiliary verb or a structure. Keep in your mind, I agree that it is a modal auxiliary verb. So if it is a modal auxiliary verb, it should be changed in this way. It should have its own form. We should not change it into he used to, like we make the sentence, he used to get public MPA used to get public job, and MNA used not to get. If you say MNA did not used to get, so then over there you have changed the structure of the sentence. So over there you made it a structure and it has got a specific shape. If I say I can teach you, if I suppose say I can teach you, and if I say I do not can teach you, so definitely I cannot say it like this. Modal auxiliary verb has got its own status. Why not to use it as in a specific way? So keep in your mind, if it is a modal auxiliary verb, so we will be changing it into the same way which are mentioned over here in the slide. So MPA used to get, and it is used for past habits and action. Used to is used for past habits and actions. So let's begin. MPA used to get public jobs. MPA used to get jobs to public. Now keep in your mind, when we change it into passive voice, there are four ways. Keep in your mind, MPA stands for Minister of Provincial Assembly. MPA used to get public jobs. MPA used to get jobs to public. And if you want to change it into passive voice, the MPA, the doer of an action, if you bring at this place of object, keep in your mind here MPA is known as agent. And what is the definition of agent? It tells us who does an action. So here it will be called agent. And if you want to bring whether the indirect object or the direct object, the public or the job at the beginning, so keep in your mind, by MPA comes at the beginning, jobs at the end, jobs at the beginning, MPA is MPA at the end. And by MPA at the beginning to public at the end, to public at the end, at the beginning, and MPA at the end. Now public used to be gotten by MPA jobs. Public used to be gotten jobs by MPA. jobs used to be gotten by MPAs to public, and jobs used to be gotten to public by MPA. Negative sentences, those sentences in which we deny the statement, reject the statement, and refuse the statement. MPA used not to get public jobs. MPA used not to get jobs to public. Public used not to be gotten by MPA jobs. Public used not to get to be gotten jobs by MPA. Jobs used not to be gotten by MPA to public. Jobs used not to be gotten to public by MPA. Keep in your mind here D is silent. It is written but it is not pronounced. You are not going to pronounce it. Clear? You won't pronounce it here. And in the same way, interrogative sentences, we have those sentences in which we ask question. Use MPA to get public jobs. Use MPA to get jobs to public. Use public to be gotten by MPA jobs. Use public to be gotten jobs by MPA. Use jobs to be gotten by MPA to public. Use jobs to be gotten to public by MPA. Next we have got the formal sentences of modal auxiliary verb used to. Those sentences in which we ask question, deny the statement, and we ask them in a formal and polite way are called the formal sentences. Use MPA not to get public jobs. Use MPA not to get jobs to public. Use public not to be gotten by MPA jobs. Use public not to be gotten jobs by MPA. Use jobs not to be gotten by MPA to public. Use jobs not to be gotten to public by MPA. Informal sentences, those sentences in which we ask question, deny the statement, and we ask them in an informal way. Use not short form is usen't. Usen't MPA to get public jobs. Usen't MPA to get jobs for public. Usen't public to be gotten by MPA jobs. Usen't public to be gotten jobs by MPA. Usen't jobs to be gotten by MPA to public, and usen't jobs to be gotten to public by MPA. So these are the sentences of ditransitive verb, get from active voice into passive voice in modal auxiliary verb used to. And wish you best of luck. See you next time with next lecture. Goodbye.